Hi, this is Kathy from Craft with Kathy. Welcome to tonight's live. Tonight's project is going to be using the new April Club Couture transfer. I had such a difficult time deciding what I was going to use it on and how I was going to use it tonight because I have all these different ideas running through my head. But I am going to do it on our palette board. It's a whitewashed palette board, and I could actually use either side, but I'm going to use this side and it'll stand up nicely for me. Oops, yeah, there we go. Well, yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. This is such a cool transfer with so many options. I'm so excited about it. Anyway, I am coming at you live from the suburbs west of Chicago. Give me a moment. I want to share to my VIP group. And he actually came up with a share button tonight. All right. Progress. Love it. There we go. If you know somebody who would also enjoy these lives, please feel free to share or sprinkle them with your friends and family. I'd surely appreciate it. It really helps with the distribution and growing my page. Just one more little thing set up here. All right, now I could even see comments. Hey, how good is this? So anyway, drop me a line. Let me know where you are viewing from. And it looks like I'm a little crooked tonight. Let me try and straighten that. I thought I had it perfect, but maybe not. Kind of hard sometimes to tell with the lag time. So this is a transfer. It's called Keep Going, Keep Growing. What a great inspirational message. And then it has these lovely little plants and some little flowers and a little teacup, another little teacup. Just really cute. I think these are probably irises, some daffodils. I'm not quite sure what this is, and my plant knowledge just went right out my brain. I want to say a palm, and I know that's not right. But anyway, feel free to jump right in, say hello. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask, and we'll just get right on started. If you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, we are a DIY home decor and more company, and we specialize in premium surfaces and in transfers. They're kind of like stencils, but a little bit different. They're vinyl, which is the teal, silk screen. You're seeing through the silk screen into the white backer sheet or the carrier sheet behind it. And they are adhesive backed and give you 8 to 12 uses or more with proper use. And the coolest thing about it is most of the time we use chalk paste, meaning that we can remove the design from our surfaces. If we chalk on chalkboard or dry erase or glass or metal, we can wipe the design right up with water in a paper towel and reuse the surface. If we use our chalk paste on wood, probably not so much because wood is porous and the chalk paste and the pigments will absorb into the wood and stain it. In that case, just paint it or sand it to remove the image that's there, and then you could reuse it. But it's so cool to be able to use the same surface over and over and over again, and boy do we have some wonderful surfaces. Our Aiden boards are magnetic with a guarantee for 50 years. 50 years, can you imagine? So how cool is that? Anyway, this is our double-sided palette. You can put an image on either side, and because this is wood, I'm going to first wax it so that I create a little bit of a barrier between our surface and our transfer. And the reason for this is twofold. Let me get my little mouse out of here. Grab my wax applicator. Is first of all, it protects our transfer from picking up any paint or slivers or anything from the wood. And usually our surfaces are pretty good, but sometimes when I've used a found surface, I've had a little issue with the paint lifting. So the wax helps protect my transfer from picking up any of the paint that's already down, and it also acts as a barrier to the wood so that the color and the pigment isn't absorbed as quickly. So if I make a mistake and I notice it fairly soon, I could probably wipe it off and fix it. So there's a lot of flexibility, a lot of margin for error. You do not have to be crafty, you do not have to be artistic. And personally, I'm a messy crafter, so I'll end up with chalk all over my hands, all over my fingers and hands before the end of the night. This is our surface wax. And I like that it comes in the small little can so that I don't, because I have a tendency to leave things with the lid off, so I don't have an issue with a great big pan drying out. And the best thing about it, I mean, obviously it does what it's supposed to do, but there is no fragrance, which I just absolutely love. It's not like one of these little wax cans that you open up and it almost bowls you over with the smell. So I'm taking some wax with my wax applicator and just applying it to my wooden surface. Let me grab a little bit more. Once I rub it in, I'll flip my little applicator over and I'll rub it off. Don't have to wait for it to dry. It's not like paste wax, like wax in your car. Ooh, who's ever had to do that? I used to, my first, well, not my first car, my second car, but my first new car, I would wax every weekend. It was beautiful. Midnight blue metallic, and boy, was that thing shiny. Okay, so I just flipped it over, I rubbed it in, now I'm just going to basically rub it off. How's everyone doing on this Friday evening? We all made it through the week, right? Any good weekend plans? Anything fun on the agenda for the weekend? I'm hoping our weather improves here. I was a little surprised this morning. I looked out the window and saw snow all over my car. I mean, just a coating and mainly on the windows, but I was like, seriously? What happened to spring? So that's basically it. You could feel when you've pretty much rubbed it off because it'll glide nice and smoothly. It doesn't, like if you run into a little paste like I did just right here, it kind of stutters and it doesn't glide as quickly. So you just want to rub it in, then rub it off. And that's all there is to waxing, really. Now you want to always wax found surfaces that are not chalkboards, and wood is pretty much it. And paper. If you're chalking on paper, I like to wax my paper. Not everyone does, but I find I get better results with it. Okay. So now before I apply this to my surface, I'm going to fuzz it with a fuzzing cloth. And this is just one of our fuzzing cloths. One side's terry, the other side is microfiber, and you fuzz it on the terry side. If you do not have a fuzzing cloth, I've got some chalk on here. I know it needs to go through the wash. If you do not have a fuzzing cloth, you can use a towel or a shirt or a sweater, anything to deliberately apply a little bit of lint. And you might say, well, why on earth would you want to do that? Now look at this. The back of our transfers are sticky, and the carrier sheet has one side that's glossy. That side goes up against the adhesive side. The other side is dull. And I usually mark the other side of my transfer, the dull side, of my carrier. Put the name on it so that I know this carrier sheet goes to this transfer, but also so that I don't accidentally put the dull side up against the adhesive side. The shiny side is kind of like a freezer paper, and it protects your transfer from sticking to anything else. So now I'm putting the adhesive side down on the fuzzing cloth, fuzzing it and lifting it up. And when I'm doing wood, I generally generally fuzz like maybe 3 times with a new transfer, depending on how much it sticks. This is pretty sticky. If I was fuzzing on metal or glass or paper, because yes, we can chalk on mirrors, on glass. We can actually even etch glassware with etching cream, or metal. It'll stick very, very snugly because the surface is not porous. And then the reason we fuzz it so much is that we want to be able to lift the transfer off of the surface. We don't want to have to struggle fighting to pull it up off the surface, which could happen, especially on mirrors. One of the first projects I ever did was a Santa Claus on the back door window, and it was really cute, except when I went to lift it off, because I was new and I was taking my time and chalking, and when I went to lift it off, it was difficult to lift, and you don't want to pull and stretch or distort your transfer, so that's why you don't want it to stick quite as snugly. So anyway, I was challenged with what colors am I going to use on this. I know for the wording, I want to use my Shimmer shadow paste, which is black with a little bit of shimmery glitter to it. And as I was preaching the other day, I used my chalk paste and I hadn't stirred it up, which created a little bit of an issue. Your chalk paste should be the consistency of yogurt or sour cream. It should not be clumpy or lumpy or anything. It should be nice and whippy and creamy. If it gets too thick, all you need to do is add a little bit of distilled water to it. I'm going to grab a little squeegee here. Oops, here's my distilled water. And you want to use distilled water because you don't want to take the chance of any minerals in your water actually interfering with the pigments of the paste and causing the color to change. So that's why you use the distilled. And I'm just spreading this chalk paste over the silkscreen portion that I want to be in the shimmer black, or the shimmer shadow, smoothing it out, removing the excess, putting the excess back into the jar, and then capping it up when I'm done. I think that's all I'm going to do in the black. And because I'm going to use a lot of different colors on this transfer tonight, I am going to use the paste and pull technique, which means I paste a little bit and then I lift it up. When you lift your transfer, you always want to lift from the top or the bottom, the left or the right. And I just saw right here where I missed a little bit of the top of my letters. Let me get that. I have a little bit of paste left on my squeegee. Okay, so I've got that. So I'm going to lift from the top. Just lift it up, just partially. Make sure that I don't have any gaps in my wording. Look, I missed the bottom of the G here. So I'm going to set that back down. I actually just stuck my hand or my arm into the little stir stick. Grab a little bit of paste and let me make sure I got the bottom of that letters. Let me take another look. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to set that up. Just hold it up for a moment or two and let it dry. It won't be fully dry, but I could set it back down without any worries that the paste is going to dry in the transfer. Because if I take too long before I lift my transfer up, the paste will start drying. So the paste and pull lets me lift the transfer up just for a few moments, let it dry, and then put it back down, and then go on to the next part. Look, I have all these cute little planters and a little heart here, and I'm going to use my little detail tool for doing the actual stems of these daffodils. Oh my goodness, this is such an adorable transfer. I wasn't quite sure what colors I was going to use, and I'm still not fully sure. I'm just looking for my other squeegees here. I know I want to use some of the shimmer on some of the pots. Maybe on the 2 stripe pots. That's what I was thinking. So let me clean a little squeegee here. I didn't get everything set up before I normally do. I had a busy late work day today, and then had a rush and scramble for dinner, and then here I am. Anyway, so I'm going to use some of my Shimmer Harvest paste, which is kind of like a gold. Our Shimmer paste are not quite like glitter, but they do have a lot of a light and shimmer to them. Now this is dried. It's been a long time since I used it, and I think it's even our old formula paste, but see how it's clumpy? Don't want to use it like that. It'll dry too quickly in my screen, which I had happened yesterday when I was actually chalking on paper. So I just added a little spritz of distilled water to it, and I'm going to stir it up here. If you don't have a plastic stir stick like this, you can use anything plastic. Never use anything wood to stir up your paste, because our chalk paste is made from chalk, and anything that's wood, like a wood coffee stirrer or a wooden spoon or anything like that, is going to start absorbing the moisture from your paste and will make it dry out, because wood is porous and will absorb the water. Okay, just a little bit more to this to stir it up, just a teeny bit more. If you accidentally ever add too much distilled water to your paste, just leave the cover off for a little bit, give it a couple stirs, and it'll start thickening up. No big deal either way. Okay, I don't need a lot of paste here for my little pot. I might do 2 of them in the Shimmer Harvest. It's such a pretty color.
I don't know. When was the last time you saw Joe? A minute ago in the morning. You being smart with me? I'm being straight with you. Well, no wonder Sharon left you. My wife's name. I even know.
No, enough. Richard, you crossed a line of family. Let him rest. Man, she lost his brother.
Oh, shit, I'm not the truth. What are you doing here, Margaret?
I should actually be using the detail tool for this, but I'm using the very edge of the squeegee.
Okay, this isn't gonna happen. Richard, sit in the back.
Okay.
Hey,
And just like the wording on top, I'm just going to lift it. Notice I left the space there for the stem of the plant. Lift it for a few moments, then set it back down. And I think I'm going to grab this pot on the other side and the same thing. Do that with the Shimmer also, the Shimmer Harvest. You can see a little bit of chalk paste goes a long way. Get right up there at the top. Grab a little bit more paste. There we go. And if I miss a spot, I'll notice it when I lift it, and I could always repair it. And if I don't notice it initially, I could always go back after I'm finished, clean the transfer, put it back down, and make any adjustments that I need to do. Ooh, maybe I'll do the middle one too, in the gold. Might as well have a theme here, right? And do the teacups and something else. I don't want to do the heart though. I'll do the heart in probably a pink or a red. Now this is one of our more involved transfers, and it's taken me a little bit longer than it normally does. We have a lot of transfers that can be done one and done. Just use one color chalk paste for the entire thing, and basically you're done in about 10-15 minutes. So how cool is that? No weeding, no playing around with vinyl and a machine. Simple, simple, simple. I just need to get one more little, oops, right up there to the edge. There we go. Okay, let me lift that, take a look at it, make sure it looks good, and then onwards and upwards, which I probably could clean a little of this up. Okay. Oh yeah, that looks good. So we've got 3 pots. I'm gonna put the excess back into my jar. No sense wasting it. Get that stir stick out of here. Being that our paste is water soluble, yes, it is water soluble, so it makes cleanup of your transfers very easy, but it also makes cleanup of your tools very simple also. Basically, the best way to clean the transfer is bring it over to the sink, run it under water, use one of our board erasers to just kind of scrub the non-sticky side, the vinyl side, not the sticky side. Don't use the board eraser on the back. Flip it over and just kind of like rinse the back with your fingers or whatever. I like to, when I'm all done, actually use a disinfecting wipe to clean my transfers to make sure I get them fully clean. Okay, I've got a bunch of stir sticks here I was cleaning up. Let me kind of finish this up for a sec. So I've got more because I am going to be combining some paste to make green. I realized I don't know where my meadow green is. I don't know if I used it up around Christmas time or what, but I couldn't find it, so I'm going to mix up a little green using, I think I have, did I bring the jade out here? I think I do somewhere, but I want multiple shades of green, so I might add a little bit of black to it to darken it up a little bit. And yes, you can combine your paste. Don't have pink, add some red and white together. don't have green, mix up some blue and yellow. If you don't want to purchase our 3-ounce jars of paste, a lot of our colors of paste also come in little individual packets that usually that packet will give you a couple different uses out of a project. Or a couple projects out of a packet. Boy, did I say that backwards, right? Okay, so my green, let's see what we've got here. Aha, this is my jade, and I'm going to darken this a bit. So let me grab just a little plastic color tray. You could use anything. You could even use your surface if you wanted to. But I'm going to put a little bit of my jade here and then darken it up a little bit by adding, oh, I didn't bring my regular black here. I'll just use my shimmer black with it.
Not specifically. He's dealing with that embezzlement mess. I thought I was clear of all that. Can you imagine Paul, criminal?
Here's my shimmer. Here we go. And I think I have a stir stick here for that shimmer. Oops, maybe, yeah, here it is. Haven't cleaned it yet, so just want to add a little dab of the black to darken it a bit. Not too much, just a little bit. I could always add more. Okay, let me stir that up and see what we're looking at. Don't want to make it too dark.
Is it 8:30 already? I'm sorry, but I've got to get these two to bed. Girls, say hi to Officer Conklin and Mr. Rachel.
It's just
Lucy and Tally. Have y'all brushed your teeth?
Okay.
I'll be up in a minute. Tally's gonna want to leave. Yeah, no. She's one of the classes. Can you believe she's a year younger than Lucy?
yeah, I use your restroom.
Yeah, of course. Through the kitchen down all the left.
And I think I'm going to use my detail my detail tool to get the stem of this plant. The detail tool has a little tiny edge that's like a little squeegee that lets me get right in there. Okay, let's take a look at it, lift it, and check it out. Oh yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? What a pretty little plant. Well, let's see. What should we do with... Maybe we'll do this one just in the jade. Stir this up, make it sure it's the proper consistency. I should have stirred it before I scoop some out of it, but it looks pretty good to me. It's a brand new jar, so it should hold together, not drip, but not be clumpy. See how nice and whippy and soft it is?
Two things. One, she said Tally is one of the classes. Classes is the difference between the girls. Everything else was a matter of degree. Taller, shorter. Classes was absolute. One wears them, one doesn't. Right before I was attacked in prison, a guy pointed at me and said, "Hey, I've taken a guy's glasses
Why?
because he wasn't a nice man. I still had him on when these clowns came to me. Their instructions were clearly to find the new boys and take out the running glasses. Bubbles have been smashed. He was a target, not me. Bubbles on the run, they've already got him."
Let me clean up my detail tool so that I could use it to get the stem of this plant again.
I would have made her have on his best shoes.
You went in his closet.
No, mudroom.
It's an ag maneuver. They're growing tall grass all around here. We're calling hitchhikers with a stick on you and pick up for a ride.
Okay, I'm going to lift this up, take a look at it. Hi Terry, I'm fine. How are you? I missed a tiny little bit, so I'm going to lay it back down and go right back over it with my detail tool. I probably just didn't press hard enough there. Lift it up. Nope, I still missed it. There we go. Perfect.
I told Finley the shooter was somebody
This is our April's Club Couture transfer. It is called Keep Going, Keep Growing. What a wonderful sentiment. And I'm using the paste and peel method to basically chalk this. I'm trying to think of my colors. My mind just blanked for a second. I'm like, I darkened up my green a little bit here to do this plant. Trying to think what else I want to mix up. Maybe I might use a little bit of my Shimmer Spruce to make another green for myself. Just use a little dab of this, and I'll mix it with my jade. Oops, it's too much jade. There we go. Let me cover things up. I've got too many paste jars open up at one time. I don't want them drying out. Good. Any interesting plans for the weekend, this weekend?
How did that go? Are you guys tight?
It's going to be cold and dreary here all weekend from what I've seen. More rain. It's been crazy, crazy rainy. And then snow or kind of like icy pellets last night. It's like, that's no fun. What happened to spring?
I'm being nice to a guy who just lost his brother, but, you know, now they brought it up and I was wanting to answer my questions.
Well, this doesn't really look as dark. Well, let me mix it a little bit more. Maybe I don't have enough of that spruce mixed in yet. Okay, I'm probably splitting hairs with the colored greens, but I like a lot of variety in the shading. Okay, so I'm gonna I don't know which one was which. Grab this and actually do some of my stems on my flowers using the detail tool.
Hey, mister, why don't you come here? We want to talk to you. No, you don't.
If you're not familiar with Club Couture, Club Couture is our monthly subscription package. For $19.99 a month, you get an 8.5 by 11 inch transfer along with 3 individual paste packets. The transfer and the design is exclusive to designers and to club members. No one else could purchase it. It's delivered straight to your door. It's $19.99 plus TX. Shipping is on us. And it's a nice little hour or so or more of creativity once a month without having to think about what you want to order, think about what color paste would go well with it or whatever. It's all color coordinated for you, and you can make the design for yourself, make it for a friend, make it for a gift, and on it goes, because our transfers are reusable 8 to 12 times or more. How cool is fun? How cool is that, and how much fun to just escape a little bit for an hour. No stress involved. Okay, I'm going to lift this up. That looks pretty good, I think. I need to do the little, what did I say they were? Daffodils, I think. And I have I do have the shimmer. I don't have any yellow. And white wouldn't go. Let me think. What am I going to do with that? Maybe I'll use the Shimmer Harvest and just make them yellow, all yellow, or like a goldish. Clean off my detail tool once again. And I'm just wiping the paste off of it. Woo! And we'll do these little flowers. It's a little hard to smooth it out and to scrape up the excess because the head of the detail tool is so small, because it is small, but it does let you get in those tiny little areas that you be struggling to reach otherwise without smearing the ink already put down. And the opposite side of the detail tool, that I sometimes call my pokey tool, is a little point. It's great for holding transfers in place while you're doing something and you don't want your surface or whatever underneath to lift up. And
Hi, can I help you? No. Just giving your dog some water.
erasing little mistakes. If you've got paste where it shouldn't be, it helps. That little pointy tool is very helpful at scraping it off. It's very precise.
Yes.
Okay, I need to move this a little bit closer to me. I'm struggling with it a little bit. Need a better view. There we go.
Good boy.
Okay, I'm gonna lift that, take a look. Ah, nice. I need to get a little bit more here at the bottom of this flower.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to check in, see if there's any official progress on Joe's case before I head back out to Hubble's.
I can't talk right now. There's been another
There we
person.
go.
They should take Morrison.
I should have probably left that up for a few more seconds. Let it dry a little bit more, hence the paste and peel, right? Okay, so what other colors? I think I want the teacups to be a little bit brighter, maybe. I don't think I want to use the raspberry sorbet. It's a little bit too much. Maybe I could go with the blues. Oh, did I bring out my dusky blue? Here it is. Ah, this is such a pretty, pretty blue.
Baker won't talk about it. Just keep looking his way, right?
Another stir stick. I'm going to stir it up, make sure it's proper consistency. This looks pretty good.
What is he doing here?
Let me keep an
Oops.
eye on him. I keep
I
an
think
eye
I'm
on
going to
him.
do both cups in the dusky blue. And need another squeegee. Let me grab a clean squeegee here.
Did you know that? Hey.
I just needed to clean that up. Okay, lift it up, let it dry. We're almost done.
How'd you know about the nails? You think one way for it is travel that fast. You wore rubber overshoes and gloves. Like that. Like whoever killed my brother. What makes you say that? 3 people killed my brother. He swore to do that to a Van Morrison size.
I just realized I did not
Keep it professional, Jasper.
lift the center, the paste and peel. I did not do that with my center plant. I've been being real careful to make sure I lift it up, and I didn't with this. I'm going to spritz my fingers, moisten that a little bit, and hopefully I can lift it without it having dried in the transfer, because it's starting to lift up the paste.
No more games. How do you know what you know?
I got too carried away talking, not paying attention to what I was doing here. I lifted in all the edges and the top and the bottom and forgot the center. Okay, let's see if that helped.
What do you think your brother didn't reach out to the cops because he couldn't reach out to the cops? He was down. You don't mind before you finish.
Ah,
It'll determine how well your jaw works the rest of your life. Joe was clean, but like that modern art piece hanging inside.
So you're saying that Morrison is working with the same killer's help ordinance?
Using a little bit pressure to pull this through. If this doesn't turn out, I might just clean it off and redo this plant. Okay. Oh, that doesn't look too bad.
Baker wasn't concerned because he knew you didn't do it, which means he knows you did.
I could lay it down later and clean it up a little bit. Oh goodness, look at my black just lifted up. That's weird. That is weird. I had lifted that and dried it.
The information there, Teal didn't promote Finley, he just appointed him.
Okay, let's do this again.
This morning, I'm going to tell you.
Well, there's running this like Morrison under his thumb. No one sits in the chief's chair unless they're on here too. They skip you to get.
Oops. Obviously,
So I guess that means he's dirty and you're
it
okay.
pays to be a little expedient. And also, if you're doing something that's a little complex, that's going to take you a little bit longer to chalk, it's probably wise not to scrape off your paste. Leave it a little bit thicker. I scraped it pretty close, picking up all the excess, but if I had left it a little bit thicker of a layer there, it would take a lot longer to dry. So let me see if this is straighten this out or not.
Not putting the murder on me. I'll go walking out of prison alive. But the way they were killed sent a message to their organization. Don't screw up and don't cross us.
Yeah,
You think you can go it alone?
it actually dried in my transfer.
You don't see that? I'll find you up and kill Joe on my own.
See if I can moisten it up.
Great. Let's go on emergency town meeting.
Info around town.
Came down south for peace and quiet. Now I've caught 4 bodies.
5. Double, probably. They do this to a cop one out of Baker. Let's go.
On my way there now. I thought you might have been Paul, so I left the gate open.
You never came home.
He called late last night and said that he had to speak to some people.
Better, but not quite. Let me go over the bottom again.
Come home. His phone goes to voicemail. I have been with Paul since freshman year at UGA. He has never once not come home. All right, just a minute. I'll stay here. He's armed. You go find Finley. We'll know what to do with him, but he needs some kind of protection.
I need your car. You see anyone under 6'5" coming in this house? Shoot him.
Finley's kind of late.
Yep.
Are you taking that knife?
Almost there.
Give me your gun. That's what I thought.
Just pushing with a little bit more pressure. Hopefully moistening that paste that dried in my silk screen and pushing it through.
They're killing cops in their own homes. Then what chance do any of us got?
A damn good chance, because as of today, per the powers given to me by the town charter, I have appointed myself.
Pretty good. I just have this one area here. If I don't get this, I will just clean the transfer, lay it back down, and paste it again. It's no big deal. And I might do that anyway. Okay.
But what the hell do you know about law enforcement?
Let's get on with these little flowers then.
And a real chief detective, too.
Oops, lost my lid. It's underneath my palette board. Haha, how do you like that one?
Maybe talk a little about Margaret. We ain't seen a murder in 20 years, and now there's 4. 4! You see that?
Okay.
Do we have a serial killer in Margrave or not?
These killings are not related.
Oh, what about that animal you rescued out of the diner?
My red looks like it's pretty dry. I'm going to spritz some water in it.
Put him in jail. Why'd you let him go?
Stir it up.
Please.
And get it ready for these flowers.
I know you're all scared.
Use the detail tool for...
And for those of you who don't know,
Ooh,
one of the
I think I probably need a little bit more paste there. Maybe not.
So he has as much invested in finding
Here we
these
go.
murderers as any one of us here. You know, when I moved Kleiner Industries to this town 5 years ago, Margrave was run down. broken. Main Street boarded up. But I said to myself, these are the kind of people who can bounce back, right? Who can survive anything. I have faith in the police force. I have faith in Chief Detective Finley. I have faith in our new Chief of Police, Mayor Teal. And I promise I will provide whatever funds, whatever resources to find whomever is responsible for these heinous acts. You have my word.
Okay, I think I've got it all. Let me stir up my red.
Mayor Teal. A word? Chief Teal, okay. Of course. Nice, thank you. I just want to let you know that I'm going to start.
I just don't want this drying again. Okay. Clean my detail tool.
That's what I want to find out.
Grab a little bit of red and do these flowers.
Combed the archives, tracked down the biggest scumbags he ever arrested, who've since been released or paroled, pardoned, everything in between. That's how you're going to find his killer. Those are your orders. You copycat them?
And the body is by the highway.
A police officer was crucified. I think that takes priority. Or did they do things differently?
So if you're not a member of Club Couture and would like to be, comment club below, and I will send you a link that tells you a little bit more about it. Club members also get special perks. Last month they actually got half off of our bunny pattern transfer. They always get a flat rate of $4.95 shipping, no matter how large the order, which is great because, of course, some of our surfaces can be rather heavy and shipping could be a little costly. And at $4.95, how could you beat it? This month's, oh my goodness, I knew this and it went right out of my mind of what this month's perks are for Club Couture. We do have a special. If you buy certain things, you get other things free. I'll be posting something about that tomorrow. And I'll also post something about what April's Club Couture perk is. It's a pretty cool one. We love our club members. I like to spoil them myself, in addition to what the company does. And if you are not in my VIP group and would like to be privy to more specials, bundles, and other things, comment VIP below. Oh, look at that. I got a little smearing with the cup here from lifting it, but I'll fix that up. And I just have one little area to finish up. Where's my green? I'm going to use my green jade and not mix it up. Oops, forgot my heart.
We'd be happy to keep you updated on the investigation. Just leave your contact information with the department before you head out.
I'm not leaving.
Oh, it was my understanding you were just passing through.
You understood wrong. I figured I'd stick around a while. Margaret's such a nice town.
There we go, it's the heart. And clean my detail tool again and let me do the green on this last plant. I'm not quite sure what I want to do for the floral leaves. Hi Deb, I'm using this month's Club Couture transfer on a palette board. Oops, grabbed way too much chalk paste here. Trying to be quick to get this up before things start drying on me again, because I've been lollygagging and talking a little bit.
No, makes sense. The two fellas come by my shop asking about it. Didn't seem all that friendly.
This is such a cool transfer. So many different ideas with it. I had such a hard time tonight figuring out what I was going to do. Okay, what am I going to do? I don't want to do the gold in there. What other color could I use? Let me think. What do I have out here with me? I could use my Sunset Drive. Oh, I could get it open.
But bad things are happening. I'm not sure can help us. We're in here.
Pretty kind of a peachy color. And you know what, just for expedience sake, I'm using the detail tool. Obviously, I could have taken time to clean another squeegee, but I didn't want to take time to do that. So it's going to be a little bit challenging smoothing this out. I'll just lift it with what it has there. I won't worry about removing the excess paste off of this. Okay. So there we go. A little bit of lifting where the paste was drying. I might go back over in color in these leaves where I've got a little bit of a blurring, but that would actually be a good way of covering my oops. And then I think I'll clean my transfer and go back over the heading and make it a little bit more defined. But I can say simple and quick because I did take my time on this one, and it's a little bit more longer of than my normal live, but I think it's such a cute transfer. And I actually was going to wrap a little bit of jute around the bottom or maybe the top, but I don't even know if I want to do that and detract from the actual images. What do you think? Does it stand on its own, or does it need a little embellishment? Or maybe something at the top with the tassel or whatever. I don't know. Sometimes I need to think about it and let things percolate. But I think I am going to come back in and watercolor the leaves. That'll take care of any smudges that I have. Anyway, now I get to go clean up all my sticks and squeegees. Thank goodness all I have to do is rinse them and rinse them off in water. And look at here, I am covered in paste again. Thank you so much for watching. You have a wonderful weekend. Ah, what a mess. Like I said, if I'm not covered in paste, I didn't have fun, right? See you soon.